Miami squeaks past Dallas. Four-pick Purdy blunder leads to Ravens win. Is Mason Rudolph the answer for Pittsburgh? Are the Chiefs no longer a dynasty? And how real are Joey Flacco and the Browns? The NFL playoffs are a few weeks away. Which teams will make the push to win it all? Follow us as we take a look into the last weeks of the regular season. Episode 17 of the Two Dudes Podcast NFL series starts now. Dallas Cowboys route.
All your favorite brands are now at Pet.
Good morning, good afternoon, and a good evening, and welcome to episode 17 of the Two Dudes Podcast. We're your host. I'm Freak.
And I'm Babs. Week 16 is in the books, so let's talk about it.
Holy shit, Babs. We are 2 weeks away from the conclusion of another fabulous NFL season.
I know. It don't feel like it's been that long.
There's been a lot of ups and downs. Some moments me and you both wish we didn't have this season.
A lot of more for me.
I would say a lot of stress coming from your end.
Yeah.
And then a few headaches on my end.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the Steelers probably had more of a struggle this year. Not really a struggle, but they faced more demons within that team than the Cowboys did.
Oh, absolutely.
With that being said, we'll start it off with that Saturday matchup with the Steelers. Y'all face the Colts, if I'm not mistaken, if I do say so myself.
No, we had the Bengals.
Y'all played the Bengals? Okay, that was the Colts before.
This week. Yeah.
Man, I've got my fucking weeks mixed up. But yeah, y'all, Mason Rudolph looked.
He looked good.
He looked really good.
Like,
Hasn't played a snap in like 700 days. Last time we saw him on the field, he was getting his head bashed in with his own helmet by Myles Garrett. So it was good. It was good to see him out there on the field. Jake
He just
Browning.
looks like he was ready.
Yeah, Jake Browning turned
And
into a pumpkin.
yeah, Jake Brandon had his worst outing of the season.
3 picks.
But I mean, honestly, Rudolph was the talk. I mean, man hasn't started in forever. Comes in and just flames them,
Dude, the first series he was throwing the ball down the field.
bro. He was killing it.
I know
Now
you
don't get me
didn't.
wrong. I don't think he's gonna be the cure as quarterback. But hey, if
Right,
his
right.
hands, he may be. I may be totally wrong. I don't think he's the cure.
It's definitely too soon to say that he's the answer
He's
to
going to
the
be starting
questions that
again
we're
this week.
having.
Tomlin had his press conference today. Rudolph will be starting again this week. Um,
Which
who
he's earned.
knows? He may be. Everything may have clicked for him. He's been with the offense since Big Ben.
Right. He spent
Even
his
Big Ben
career
backs
in
him. Big Ben backs him
Pittsburgh,
and
right?
says, "Yeah, he's been there. They drafted him to replace Big Ben." Um, but things didn't work out the way they wanted.
Right. You
They
never
don't.
know.
They don't. But yeah, you never know. I mean, he's been there the whole time. He knows that team. I mean, he watched Ben play. He knows how that position should be played. I mean, yeah, he may not have clicked when they started, but everything might be clicking to him. I mean, he went in there and he looked like he was starting with that team forever.
Right. I mean, y'all
And
didn't.
that attributes a lot to him outside of the games because that means he's putting in the film work. He's learning the offense. Like you, he's the third string. He don't get reps.
Right.
He runs the scout team,
hmm
which means he's studying film. He's doing what he has to. That's a good sign right there. Um,
Yeah.
Now it could be a fluke game. You never know. I'm interested in seeing what he does this week. If he keeps up and plays a game like another good game, then they should look at that and be like, we might have something here. He's got an arm, and he was
Yeah.
throwing it down the field, and he was throwing. There was a couple throws he threw bad, but the majority of his throws they're on the money. So, and
Yep.
our defense played huge, like always. Our defense actually, I think, played better this week than normal, and a lot of that comes from I don't think they were getting frustrated because they're causing a turnover, and we were scoring off of it. So they were in there. They were, I think, and we've been saying that all year. Like the defense plays good, but the offense doesn't. When the offense plays good, the defense is getting hype, and they're going out there and they were dominating. So I'm intrigued to see how they play this week. To see if it was a fluke week or if he's actually gonna be good. Because if he plays good, they'd be dumb not to start him the 3 weeks in a row. He's
Mhm.
got the hot hand. And if he does, and if he starts out the rest of the season, Kenny Pickett has
There's
a
no point.
competition.
There's no point in Pickett coming back, to be honest.
No,
And
even if he's your future guy, then you
starting
don't want to rush him
Trubisky
back.
is just. There's no point in starting Trubisky
Mm-mm.
because you already know what you're going to get out of him.
So if they ride, I mean, hell, we could still make the playoffs technically. We got a little help this week. Teams that needed to lose
Yeah,
lost.
a few
Cool.
teams lost that y'all needed to.
So if we win out, there is a possibility we make the playoffs. Now, if we win out behind Rudolph, do they switch to Pickett in the playoffs? I don't think they do.
They
And if
shouldn't.
they don't, that's not a good sign for Pickett. But we'll see. I think it was a good game from him. I don't want to get too much of he's the savior because, like I said, it could be a fluke game. I've seen him
Right.
play before, and he wasn't that great.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So you
The
never know.
Bengals have been off and on all season, so
hmm So
I mean,
I'm interested to see. Seattle's a good team,
yeah, y'all got a better defense y'all
so
are facing this week. So
this could kind of gauge a little better of how he's going to be. Now, if he goes out there and scorches Seattle, I mean, that's something to say.
right.
Now,
What Pickens does against Seattle's corners is gonna really uh say a lot to me.
Mhm.
I think Pickens um he had a huge game because like
Yeah.
his character was in question, his maturity was in question, his leadership was questioned. all last week going into this game. So I think if Seattle's young corners can get Pickens rattled, we might see that again, but we'll see. I would say going into this week, all eyes are on Rudolph and Pickens. See what
Mhm.
they can do. Need to see Najee Harris continue to
Yeah, Najee's
build.
been-
He's only had 2 good games this year, and it was this week and the week he almost broke 100.
yeah, and he's still one of the leading rushers in the NFL, and
So,
he's not even having a crazy good year. He's
mm-mm,
not even doing. He's not even playing a lot to his potential, and a lot of that is because our offensive line is kind of shaky.
right.
If he got behind the offensive line, I think his year's way bigger than it is now.
Yeah, I think this week's gonna be a bigger test for y'all. With it being Seattle and the fact that y'all are playing in Seattle.
I think it'll kind of test to see what
If
Rudolph
Mason if
if Rudolph
Mason
if
can go
Rudolph
in,
yeah
if he can go in and get a win against Seattle, he's earned the starting position in the remaining
I
part of this year
I
going into
agree.
the postseason.
If he goes in and wins, there's no question in my mind they should not
Right.
take his hot hand away because you don't know. I mean, it's his third. He's only been in the league like 3 years, 3 or 4 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's you can't. Some people need time behind people. You know, sometimes it takes them a couple extra years, and they turn out to a monster quarterback. Look at Kirk Warner or Kurt Warner. How old was he when he got his first start in the NFL?
Odd.
That's what I'm saying. Like sometimes they don't come right out of college and are
Right.
monsters. He has all the attributes to be it. He's got the work ethic. Who knows? He could take over the team.
Yeah. Oh no, we'll see.
Yeah, we're gonna see this week. I'm not gonna say he's the savior, but hey, if he keeps playing like that, then there's something they got there. They're gonna have to kind of figure out where they want to go then because he's only on a 1 year contract. This is he they only signed him to this year. So we will see.
All right. The Miami Dolphins, they squeak past Dallas. They win 22-20. Um, Dallas played well.
9 yards on the right hand.
Defense played well the entire game until the final drive.
Yeah, that last drive.
Don't play man at all the entire game, and then you play man, which I don't understand. And then everyone in the entire stadium and watching the game knows that they're fixing to run the ball, and you let them run straight up the middle twice.
Yep.
The
Yeah,
only
it
thing I
was-
can really say about Dallas' offense was that opening drive. Tony Pollard needs to score that touchdown. There should be no reason why a fucking safety is coming down and changing your direction to where you don't break the plane. And 2, why are we handing the ball off to Hunter Lipke, an undrafted free agent from North Dakota State, instead of giving the ball to Rico Dowdle, how we have been
Yeah.
the last 5 weeks in the red zone?
I will say one
Because if
thing.
we score that opening drive, we don't lose that game.
No, exactly. Both teams had something to prove this week, and both of them, I think, did prove something. Dallas was you can't play good on the road. I thought Dallas played really good on the road,
Yeah, we played good.
and they
up
didn't
to
play.
that
They didn't
last
play a trash
series.
team. They played a good team, and they played good. And everybody was, oh, they can't play good on the road. They can't play good. They played pretty good to me.
CeeDee Lamb was cooking them in the first quarter. Why
Oh,
he
he was
only
going
had 10
off.
why he only had 10 targets that entire game, I don't understand. He should have been targeted 20 times. CeeDee Lamb should have had the same amount of numbers that Amari Cooper did against
Yeah,
the
you got to feed him. He was on a hot hand. You gotta
he
feed
was
him.
he was cooking them.
Yeah,
And it wasn't
got it.
anything he did differently when they stopped going towards him. That was Mike McCarthy assuming that Mike McDaniel was gonna make an adjustment, or Mick Fangio was gonna make an adjustment, take CeeDee Lamb away. You chose to stop going to CeeDee Lamb because you assumed defensive coordinator was gonna have a play to stop him, and he didn't.
No, they
CeeDee
should've
Lamb
kept
was
Thielen.
cooking them all game. You just stopped going towards him. There was play after play after play. Well, where if CeeDee Lamb was the first read, he's either taking it to the house like he did to start the game, or we're at least continuing the drive continues. And he's not even the first read. He doesn't even look his way.
Right.
So they played okay. I'm not gonna say they played good or great because we still lost. We have to play better if we're gonna do anything in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because even if we're going against a 9-8 win Tampa Bay Buck team in the playoffs, that is still a winning football team on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And as this season says, we have we have issues with winning teams on the road. And I will not trust this team on the road. Because
And the way it looks, they're gonna have to go through. They're gonna have to win out on the road.
yeah, so the simple things they can't do correctly, which I don't understand. Like fumbling the ball inside the 1 yard line. Never happens. And there should be no reason why a damn safety should be stopping my running back at the half-yard line. When you have all the momentum going forward, there should be no reason why he changes the only part of your body that he changed direction was the upper half. Are you kidding me? The only part that's important? Or maybe try stretching the ball out because you're on the half inch. You're literally an inch away from the end zone. He literally could have just stretched the ball out and broke the play.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't know what it is. He made the statement that he finally feels like he's getting back into form. Bro, you had 12 carries for 38 yards. You were one of the leading. You were a leading rusher last year. You're nowhere fucking close.
Yep.
To being what you were last year.
Oh no.
You might feel healthy and feel like you're where you were, but your performance is not showing
Yeah,
that.
your numbers aren't showing that.
And Dallas is regretting getting rid of Zeke.
Oh yeah, because he's playing amazing right now.
Shit, he had his best game as a Patriot last week.
Yep. Yeah, no, he's playing really good.
All right. Chiefs. Are they still a dynasty?
I don't know, man. Not without no wide receivers.
Are they no longer a dynasty?
There's the snap on.
I would keep that question in the air, but that question is definitely worthy.
The Chiefs
They're
couldn't
9-6,
run.
dude. They're 9-6.
The Raiders ran on them for 157 yards without Josh Jacobs.
Right.
They only threw the ball 21 times. They
62
had
yards.
62 yards.
They had they had no offensive scores.
No,
They had 2 field goals.
Yeah, it's
Their 2 touchdowns was a fumble recovery and a pick six.
yep. It comes to a point. It's like, what are y'all doing?
When your leading rusher is your quarterback,
Yeah, because he was running for his life.
Mhm.
Max Crosby was hungry.
Raiders defense are no joke right now.
Dude, what?
Holy shit.
Like the Raiders could sneak into the playoffs.
After the start they had, they're playing really good right
Dude,
now.
That entire division was trash, but Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
And you had Denver that started 1-6. They go on a 5-game win streak. They're 7-8 now. You've got the Raiders that started 2-5. They go on a they go on a 3-game win streak. Now they're 7-8. With same with the Broncos.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
and they both have a split with Kansas City.
Kansas City looked horrible.
Dude, that's a perfect question to what we're talking about, because the past 3 years Kansas City has had maybe no more than 4 losses in a season.
Mm-hmm.
This is the worst Patrick Mahomes has looked as a starting quarterback. This is his worst record as a quarterback. They're not going to have a home playoff game, but one, the wild card. After that, they're going to be off the road. That's if they're lucky to win that one playoff game.
Yeah.
Because with how it's looking, I think if the season was to end now, I think they would face the Bills.
Yeah, I think so.
No, they'd face Cleveland.
Oh, that's even worse.
Even worse.
That's even worse.
The way Flacco is playing, and the Browns have the top defense, or at least the number 2 defense behind the Ravens.
Yeah.
It's
I honestly don't
currently
see,
the Chiefs are one and done in the playoffs with the way that they look right now.
I don't see the Chiefs
They're not winning a
getting out
playoff
round
game.
one. No, I don't see it.
There's no way they beat there's no way they beat the Browns. There's no way. No, they wouldn't. The Browns are the 5th seed, so no, they would face the Bills. Because the 3 and the 6 seed face each other.
Mm-hmm.
The 5 and the 4 seed will face each other. But that sucks for Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Jacksonville would have Cleveland,
Yep.
and Miami would have Indianapolis. Shit, Indianapolis would that would be an interesting wild card weekend, because all 3 of those wild card teams win.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Imagine all 3 wild card teams win their.
And out of all those teams, the only team I could see beating Baltimore is Cleveland.
Right.
Honestly, I feel like Cleveland
Dude.
is the only team that could beat Baltimore in the playoffs.
Imagine a Cleveland Baltimore AFC title game with Joe Flacco
The only,
as a
the
Cleveland
only-
Brown.
yeah, the only team I see in the AFC beating Baltimore is a division rival.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of how division games go in our division. That's the only thing. So it's playoffs could be crazy this year.
Yeah, the Chiefs are not the same Chiefs as of old.
No. Uh-uh.
They've got serious wide receiver problems.
And even their defense isn't the greatest right now.
Right. Speaking of your division and Joey Flacco, how real are Joey Flacco and the Browns?
Honestly, I feel like they're really real. Like everybody's like, "Oh, Joe, you got to remember Joe Flacco's only 38 years old.
Right.
He's only 38. Like people are talking like he's in his late 40s. He's bro. The man still's got it.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't retire because he couldn't play the game. He retired because he wanted to.
Right.
He didn't
he's-
retire because he couldn't
he's-
play the game.
I-
Tom
I
Brady played.
assume
So how
he's-
old was he?
Right. I assume Flacco's got a family and kids and all that other
Yeah.
stuff, and he was probably just like, you know what? I've got my Super Bowl. I've played for a long time. You know what? I could play a little bit
Retired 'cause
longer,
He
but
wanted to.
right.
This
Let's
man
end it
still
on a good
has
note.
it. Joe Flacco was a good quarterback. Always has been.
Right. Now he comes into a situation to where you have one of the best, you have one of the top defenses behind you,
And I think
an organization
just imagine if he had
that's
Nick
itching
Chubb's healthy.
to just win consistently, and they have the
Imagine
rock.
Nick
Bro.
Chubb's being healthy.
Oh God, they would be the one seed if Nick Chubb was still there.
The man has receivers. He's got Amari Cooper. He's got David Njoku. Like what? He's got
Amari
Elijah
Cooper.
Moore, Jordan Atkins. Like he's got the bro.
Amari Cooper set a franchise record for 265 receiving
Hell
yards.
yeah.
Like the fuck?
I think Cleveland could do something in the playoffs.
Oh, dude, what?
Joe
This
Flacco is
out
playing
of,
like he hasn't missed a year.
out of the wild card teams, this is the most dangerous.
Joe Flacco's playing like he never retired.
Mhm.
Like, and it's not just because he had a big game here. He's playing good. He's been playing good. His week 1 was good. His first week there, and now he's getting more comfortable with the offense. Oh,
Dude, it's a wrap.
he's a good quarterback. People are
It's a
underestimating
wrap.
that.
It's a wrap.
He just walked into best case scenario for himself.
Oh, definitely. What? Like
I think
you
like I
imagine
said,
you
if
imagine the
anybody
Cleveland
beat
Browns,
Baltimore, it's going to be Cleveland.
right? You imagine the Cleveland Browns in an AFC title game,
I can see it this year.
bro. Like that's insane.
Their defense is playing lights out. Their offense is fucking putting up numbers. So,
Do they
Cleveland is a
play the
real deal
Browns
right now.
again, or have they already played
Who's that?
the Ravens?
The Ravens? I think they played both of their games already. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Yeah, they played both of their games.
Did they split?
Yeah, they split. And that's what I'm saying. Like division, if they're in the conference, if they're in the finals together,
Dude.
because the Browns play the Jets and then the Bengals.
Oh yeah. Cleveland's gonna be 12-5.
Yeah. Legit. If Baltimore loses out, which I doubt they're going to,
Yeah,
not in the
Baltimore's probably
form
gonna be
they're in,
14-3.
If they lose out, them and the Browns would tie for the division. But I don't know who would win the tiebreaker. So I think Ravens would. But either way,
Yeah, Ravens have the better conference record.
yeah. So, it could be like that's crazy.
Yeah, it's
If Browns could,
technically they still have a shot for the 1 seed.
uh-huh.
They would just need the Ravens to out, but that's
Yeah.
very unlikely. And speaking of the Ravens, they picked off Brock Purdy 4 times in the Christmas night on Monday Night Football last night. Final score was what, 33-19,
Yeah.
Baltimore.
Yep.
Inside the 20.
They even picked off Sam Darnold once. Had 5 interceptions.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baltimore just went in there and just straight up manhandled
Yeah.
the 49ers. I mean, people were wondering what the Niners were gonna look like when they were completely healthy and they went up against a team that was completely healthy themselves, at least on defense.
And you saw it.
You got manhandled at home.
Baltimore did not hold back.
No,
Baltimore Baltimore put a staple that they're the number 1 team in the NFL right now.
Oh yes, hands down.
Hands down. As much as I hate to say it, because it's Baltimore. They're fucking looking kind of unstoppable right now.
right?
They did just sign Melvin Gordon,
Hmm.
so that's gonna be good. That's a good running back to have.
Yeah.
Um,
At least let him get used to the playbook before going
yeah,
into the postseason and everything.
yeah, and they didn't even play him this. I don't think they played him at all this week.
No, he didn't play.
No, but so they do have him. So that's a steady running back to have. He's a good running back.
Oh, for sure.
Um, so, and that's what we always said Baltimore's issue was the running game. Gus Edwards has been doing pretty good this year with all
Oh
the
yeah.
injuries they've had. They have Melvin Gordon. That gives them a solid two people. I mean, that's their weak point.
Baltimore has Miami.
And they're not even fully healthy. They don't have Andrews. They don't have his number one target, Mark Andrews.
Right.
But I think he's still been playing. I mean, what's the dude that took over from Mark Andrews? Isaiah Likely.
Yes.
He's been doing. I mean, he's being.
He had a few
Yeah.
targets and catches last
Yeah.
night.
So yeah, Lamar seems to like him, so that's a good.
Inside the 20.
So hey, Baltimore might be one of my favorites.
Right. Yeah, I would say going right now and going against the playoff, Baltimore is the AFC favorite.
Mm-hmm.
There's
We all know everything can change in 1 week.
Yep, everything can change the divisional round of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you get that bye week doesn't mean you're guaranteed a victory.
Exactly.
Just makes your team gives them a little bit more rest, but it could also hurt your team because that team that comes in from that wild card could be on a hot streak, regardless if they're fatigued or not. Yeah, these last few weeks we've been having some good football. It's gonna shake up for some interesting playoff football here coming up to end out the regular season, and we're gonna have some wild playoffs this year. I have a feeling.
Yeah, I agree. It's gonna be a good season.
All right, we will venture off into the power rankings. So ESPN did not update their power rankings this week for some reason, which I don't understand. Let's update our power rankings. What is it? 15 or 16 out of the 17 weeks so far. We're gonna update power rankings, but we made our own power rankings this week.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna do from now on, going into next season. We'll just start making our own power rankings. So, number 1, we have Baltimore, of course, after their shellacking against the 49ers. Number 2, of course, we have the 49ers. Up until last night, those were the top 2 teams in the NFL. Currently, they are still the top 2 teams in the NFL, regardless of San Francisco having the same record as the Eagles and the Lions. Eagles got manhandled by the 49ers earlier, and Detroit is nowhere close. Coming in at number 3, the Dolphins, after their last-second field goal to beat the Dallas Cowboys 22-20. Coming in right behind them are the Dallas Cowboys. Me and Babs both agreed that out of the remaining teams that we have in the top 10 and the teams that are above them, it is fair to have Dallas at 4. They split with the Eagles earlier in the year, but when you look at their 2 head-to-head matchups, the Eagles barely beat them at home. Dak Prescott foot out of bounds on a 2-point conversion, and the rookie tight end knee was short without the ball breaking the plane. And that game is different, and Dallas sweeps the Eagles. When the Eagles came to Dallas, Dallas manhandled them. Detroit, we have at 5. Detroit has been one of those consistent teams that me and Babs can probably agree on. Despite some of their losses to division opponents, which is expected for a lot of division teams when they face each other, but they're still a deadly team when it comes to the playoffs and playing indoors. Coming in at number 6, the Eagles. Solely because, one, they had that 3-game losing streak to Dallas, the Niners, and the Seahawks, and ultimately the Eagles have not looked the same the entire season. They have escaped multiple losses. They could easily be 500 or worse this season if any of those games went differently this year. Coming in at 7, we have the Cleveland Browns. They keep playing the way that they're playing. Expect them to keep moving up the list, especially these last 2 weeks. Joey Flacco and the Browns are cooking.
Yeah.
Coming in at 8, the Buffalo Bills. Currently, right now, if the playoffs were to start, they would be the 7th seed. Coming in at 9, the most surprising team most likely to be this far down in the rankings, the Chiefs. They do not look like the same Chiefs that won the 2 Super Bowls, especially the team that won it last year. With the same receivers, ironically.
They're like mid-tier at best.
Me and you both believe that they will not win a playoff game this year.
I don't think so.
And to wrap up the top 10, we have the Rams. Why do we have the Rams over any other team? One, they're probably the hottest wild card team right now in the NFC.
And right now they're playing the best they've played all year.
They're in the same division as the 49ers, and they might give the 49ers a scare in the season. So, and right now, if the playoffs were to end, the Rams would be playing the Lions. So Matt Stafford would be going against his former team.
Mm-hmm.
And I can totally see the Rams beating Detroit.
I do too.
So that wraps up our power rankings for week 17.
Yep.
And we will move on to our week 17 picks, but before then, we will figure out who won week 16 picks.
I won week 16.
And Philin.
I went 10-6. You went 8-8. So for the season, I'm 143.97. You're 135 and 105. It was the Browns, the Vikings, and then you picked the Cardinals. And then I picked Raiders, Eagles. You picked Chiefs, Giants.
Hey, the Giants gave him a scare, bro.
They did. They did it.
That 70s.
Yeah, that was.
Oh. I was like, oh, we got a chance. Damn it.
They put once they put what's his face in.
Yeah, once they put in Tyrod's probably gonna get the start.
Yeah.
I bet you Tommy DeVito and his agent regret doubling his appearance fee at a mom and pop's pizzeria.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, you're an undrafted free agent. You shouldn't be asking them. Like, I would understand if that was like Papa John's or Domino's or Pizza Hut or one of those.
Place, man.
But you're asking a family-owned business to pay you $10,000 just for you to show up. Boy, get the fuck out of here! And you won one game.
Yeah, you ain't even that big right now.
Right? Like, I don't. Well, like, just come on
Yeah, I
now.
saw that.
Just,
I was like, you got to be shitting me.
That doesn't make any
That's
sense.
some scumbag shit right there, for real, for real.
Yeah. So like I don't understand. I don't know. It was stupid for them to ask
Mhm.
that. And
Yeah.
moving on to our picks for week 17, Thursday night. I believe this is the last Thursday night game. Not sure.
I think so. I think it might be.
The
Next week's
Jets,
schedule's not out, so we don't know.
right? Jets versus Cleveland.
I went Browns.
Yeah, give me the Browns. The lone primetime Saturday night. That's so weird. This is going to be called by the Monday night crew, so they're treating this like as a Monday night game, but it's going to be on a Saturday. Detroit versus Dallas.
I went Dallas.
Yeah, I got Dallas here. I think this game is going to be close. I have Dallas winning this by 10. I just think at home we're a different team. I see us winning this game 41-31.
I don't
Be a
think
good
the
game.
Lions are going to put up that many points.
But probably not. But I don't. Dallas might not even score that many either. But I think it's going to be a game, at least for a majority of it, and then Dallas will pull ahead. Starting the Sunday games, it's going to be a tough matchup. Miami versus Baltimore.
I went
I got
Ravens.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Next game, New England versus Buffalo.
I went Patriots.
I got Bills.
I just know the Patriots love fucking.
I think it's gonna
beating the
come. I
Bills.
think the AFC East is gonna come down to Week 18 versus Miami, Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Next game, Atlanta versus Chicago.
I went Bears.
Yeah, I'm going Bears here as well. Bears are officially out of the playoffs because they have 9 losses, but Atlanta is still fighting because Tampa's what 8-7.
Mm-hmm.
So if Tampa's to lose and they're to win, they still have a fighting chance essentially. So we'll see. Both went Chicago. Next game, Raiders versus Indianapolis. Indy's coming off a loss, I believe, and Raiders are coming off a big win against Kansas City. So I'm going to go Raiders as well. All right, next game, Carolina versus Jaguars. Yeah, give me Jaguars.
I went Jags too.
All right, Titans versus Texans. I
went
think
Titans.
I'm gonna go Texans here. I think Shroud should be back this week. Not sure because he's missed the last 2, but we'll on that. But I'm gonna go. All right, next game, Rams versus the Giants.
I went Rams.
Yeah, I'm going Rams. All right, Arizona versus Philly.
I went Philly.
Give me the Cardinals.
Oh shit! He's taking. He got. He said he need to take some risks.
Tampa Bay versus the Saints.
I went Bucks.
Yeah, give me the. San Francisco versus the Commanders.
I went Niners.
Yeah, Niners bounce back this week. All right, this starts the afternoon games. Pittsburgh versus Seattle.
You already know who I went.
Going to toss up for Mason played well. Defense played well. Seattle's good. Tough. Give me Pittsburgh. Next game, Kansas City versus Cincinnati.
I went Chiefs on this.
I'm gonna say Cincy.
It could go either way, honestly. The way
Yeah.
the Chiefs have been playing.
I'm gonna say Cincinnati. I'm pretty sure Chase will be back. I'm gonna go. All right. Chargers versus Broncos.
I went Broncos.
Give me the Broncos. All right. Green Bay versus Minnesota Sunday night.
I went Vikings.
Give me the Packers.
That's another one of those games that could go either way.
Yeah. Oh, can you imagine if we turn around week 18 and Kansas City is 9-7?
Bro.
No shot, right?
Yeah, right? That would be kind of crazy.
It is insane. Yeah. That wraps up our week 17 picks. With that being said, we hope everyone had a great Christmas. Hopefully you got lots of time with family and friends, and you didn't get coal in your stocking, and you drank all the eggnog you could, and got drunk if you're of age, of course, and open some presents. With that being said, we are going to wrap up episode 17 here on our end. We will be back next week. And I believe it's going to be New Year's, right?
Yes, New Year's is next week. It's
Yeah.
Monday night.
So, with that being said, from our families to yours, Happy New Year's. Be smart. Don't do anything stupid. If you're going to go out and drink, make sure you have a designated driver or call a taxi or an Uber, something. Not do anything stupid.
Do something.
We love you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. And be safe. Enjoy your holidays. And goodbye.
Later.